So, making another video, and I'm going to talk about why video games suck nowadays. The majority of them, some are pretty good, but others are really bad. Um, so, this video came about because The Last of Us Part 2 has been released, and predictably, games journalists who are not very smart, they're not the brightest bunch, but like it gets tens, nines, universal acclaim pretty much. I think it's got a 96 on Metacritic. And I'm one of these people, one of these gamers, rise up, that detests these sort of games. Because in my opinion, they're not games. They're movies. They're cinematic experiences. You know what I mean? Games like The Last of Us that have game directors like Neil Druckmann, who are narcissists, you know, who believe games are art. And I agree with that. I do believe games are art. But, or at least they're a craft. I prefer that word. Because you craft the experience. It's a skill. It's not, a statement as much as it is you're trying to achieve a certain effect. I detest that because it weakens video games as a medium, right? It limits it to what's already been done in Hollywood movies. And I hate Hollywood movies. I don't watch them. At least I should watch them. Sometimes I can't help myself, but that's the reality. So a game like The Last of Us, where you have to press forward to walk really slowly and hear some poorly written Hollywood tier dialogue, kind of makes me sick because that's not what games are meant to be. When I was growing up, and I'm an old timer. I remember how games used to be. I grew up on like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. I grew up on Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic and Metal Gear Solid and Resident Evil and a lot of these types of games. And yeah, they were cinematic. Like you like Metal Gear Solid? And that's a cinematic game. Yeah, it is, but let's be honest, the gameplay was much richer and more in depth and more fun. And the presentation was not of a Hollywood movie. It was sort of a collection of pastiches, and parodies and satire and things like that. Again, sort of a political game. So I'm not against the idea of having politics in games. One of my favorite games is Fallout New Vegas, which is incredibly political. But at the same time, they recognized that they were games. And they used the medium in order to craft these certain experiences. And they were trying to maximize fun. And you read an interview by this Neil Druckmann character, and he literally says, "We don't use the word fun at our studio. We resent that. We're trying to create experiences. We're trying to craft a story, and we're trying to say something important." And I just think that, you're a narcissist, bro. And I'm not one of these people that thinks that games or really anything should be pure escapism, because escapism, in my opinion, can be dangerous and it can be blinding. But at the same time, games should be fun. Because if a game isn't fun, then why bother? Or if it isn't using gameplay in an interesting way, then why bother? And The Last of Us 2, or any one of these games, like it's like Uncharted or I don't even know, like these stupid cinematic walking simulators. I'm just like, These aren't games. You know, these are bedtime stories for midwits, for people of average intelligence that convince themselves that this is saying something important, or that this is anything less than, to be honest, corporate propaganda. No, not a fan. I would rather play as Phil Margera in his fucking tidy whities on a skateboard and fucking do a McTwist over a helicopter or something than anything that's in The Last of Us Part 2. I would fuck that game. Play Persona.